Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Star Wars Wednesday from the Toybox edition. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with Star Wars The Black Series Rebels Chopper. Let's get into it! Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories, and we'll start off with the accessories. And here, this extra leg, which matches this leg, and it's from an episode where Chopper saw this in the junk bin or for sale in a junk bin, and it matches his leg, so he wanted it because this was his original part, and then, you know, he's got on him the part that doesn't match. And it works just like the other legs. You know, it pops in at the shoulder joint and it'll spin 360 degrees. And then it's got some tilt at the ankle as well. So it's a really funny episode. You should check it out. And then here is it replaces his stabilizer leg. It's a jet exhaust leg, I guess, for flying in space or around in the atmosphere too, I suppose. And you can see it's got some nice little like dirt paint apps on it, so that's pretty cool. And then this piece as well that helps you display when he's flying, and it's made of a translucent plastic, and then it's got this nice very light paint app on it. And this the exhaust from this just kind of fits in there, and there's a certain way it goes, and then the droid sits on top of that. You replace his stabilizer leg, which we'll show in a minute. And as far as the figure itself goes, and Chopper's one of my favorite from Rebels. He's just the funniest one to me. Him and Zeb together. And then throw Ezra in the mix. It's almost like Star Wars Three Stooges. But the paint apps on this one are very nice. And then he's got a lot of little, I guess, dry brush on it as well to show that he's dirty. He's not the cleanest of droids. He doesn't go and get cleaned a lot at Tashi Station, I suppose. And as far as his articulation goes, the head doesn't bob or tilt or anything like that. All it does, there's a straight cut across it, and it goes 360 degrees, and that's it. At the shoulder, the legs will go 360 degrees, but as you hit the head, they do touch, and it does scrape. So be aware of that. But it will go, and it does bend out a little bit as well. So just be aware of that. So it will go 360 degrees. At the ankle, it'll tilt back like that, tilts forward like that, and then the stabilizer leg, you just kind of have to try and get a hold of it the best that you can, and then you pull it. It will come all the way out like so. I wish there was a stop for it in there, but it's not, at least not on this version. So, you know, you just kind of have to mess with it a little bit to get it out where you want it for photos or display purposes, whatever. We'll go ahead and pull that on out. On each side of his head, he does have these manipulator arms, and they will fold out all the way like this, and they will go up and down, and it's on a ball joint right here at the elbow, and so they will twist around and they will bend they just go right back in there. Then he also has this manipulator arm. It swings out on a hinge right here, and it's hinged right here as well. It folds in that far, and it will fold out. Seems about that far. I don't like to go much further than that because it feels delicate, like it's gonna break. So that's all I would do with that. And they may have made it out of sturdier material on the newer version of it that they released in the Ahsoka colors. So now, as far as using this piece goes, just where the stabilizer leg plugs in, this plugs in as well. And there you have it. That, my friends, is a look at Chopper and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have what I like to think of as the main cast of Rebels All Black series. We have Chopper, Ezra Bridger, Sabine Wren, Grand Admiral Thrawn, Hera Syndulla, Kanan Jarrus, Zeb Orrelios, and Ahsoka. For our final set of comparisons, here we have Star Wars The Black Series, Rebels, Chopper, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. Our final Black Series comparison, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison, from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on Star Wars The Black Series, Rebels, Chopper, I have to say, Chopper is probably my favorite. Well, not probably. He is my favorite character from the crew of the Ghost. And I think that this figure does justice to that. Now, the colors might skew a little more towards the animation rather than the newer live action paint on this particular mold, but I'm fine with that. I don't feel the need to replace this Chopper with the Ahsoka version. There's no new articulation. If they'd have added in like a ball between the head and the body, some type of pivot in there, then I would have upgraded, or that in addition to some different radar dishes or transmission dishes on the top of his head, or a posable one, then that definitely would have been a major consideration to get that particular version of Chopper. But without those improvements, I am perfectly happy with this one. He's grimy, he's been working, and in places he is a little bright, as animated figures should be. But again, you know, the Black Series tries to do a combination of animation and realism on the animated versions of characters that they put in the line, and that's fine. But again, like I said, this is a great version of Chopper, and until they take this mold and include everything on it and then upgrade it with, you know, like a pivot or a dumbbell or something between the head and the body, and upgrading the dish on his head, then I am perfectly happy with this version. Now, as you see him right here with, you know, blasting off, I don't really display him like this much. In fact, I don't think I've displayed him like this ever in my display. for pictures and stuff, I may utilize this, but for the most part, it's just extra to me. And it's nice to have, just like those, you know, jet blasts that go with the Marvel Legends Iron Man, the few Iron Men that actually came with that. War Machine, I think, was the first, and then Iron Man 2020, and I think there was one more Iron Man that came with those exhaust plumes. And again, it's nice to have, and you may not necessarily want to display it that way because some of these pieces are a little soft. But again, like I said, these are, to me, these are just extra pieces. He did, you know, he did fly in the show, so it's nice that they did include that. And again, overall, you know, if you didn't have a chance to get this chopper and you'd like a chopper, the Ahsoka version of it, again, the only real difference is I think the paint apps are a little more muted on the Ahsoka version, but as far as the mold goes, it's exactly the same. So if you missed this one, there's your opportunity to pick up a chopper. Well, that does it for the review. I hope that you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews or just help the channel out further, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.